Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to today's live session. I'm so excited for the incredible conversation we're going to have today. We're on day number 62. And today I thought I would dive a bit deeper into the behind the scenes of what goes on in creating these sessions, into what is the foundation of a lot of the knowledge that I have, and a lot of the ways in which I'm able to coach and guide people and to just live a better life overall. And as I was reflecting on these ideas today, and as I was thinking about all the different things I've done over the last few years, which have contributed to my growth and to my success, I realized that one of the activities that has been the most profound and consequential has been the act of reading. I know the bookshelf behind me says that already, but today I want to have a conversation with you about how something so simple and possibly so passive can have such a massive impact on anybody's life, because I consider reading to be one of the most highest ROI, return on investment activities that you could do in the world. And I'm not biased for it because I'm a writer. I'm saying that because I've seen the impact that it holds firsthand. I've seen that the best leaders in the world, they are readers. The more they read, the better their life gets. My life, in fact, has gotten better not because just watched videos, but because I actually went out and read books. Because here's the difference between just an article on the internet or a video or a book. The book has the space and the scope to go into depth. The book can explore ideas, the book can explore concepts that truly make you feel that, oh my god, I never thought in this way before. And whether it's fiction or non-fiction, it doesn't matter. The benchmark of a successful book is, does it make you think better, and does it make you think in a more effective way? Does it expand your perspectives? Does it show you a new lens at life? And when that happens there, the beautiful thing that happens is you get to experience many lives in just one. You get to spend a few hours in pages, and in those few pages you get the insights of a lifetime from someone who has spent so many years learning their lessons. And honestly, it's crazy we don't do enough of it, because in this much of space of printed pages, of printed paper, if you're getting lifetimes worth of wisdom, and not at like $100,000 or $200,000 or a crore rupees. No, it's $5, 300 rupees. They're the most valuable things in the world, yet they're undervalued the most. And that's a dichotomy I've never understood. But the basic truth is, books have democratized knowledge, they've democratized transformation, and they've allowed for people to live the best lives out there by just tapping into the source and by just being open and willing to that knowledge. Having that attitude has completely transformed my life. And so today I have a surprise for you. I'm not just going to tell you the importance of reading, I'm also going to share with you some of the books that have had the most impact on me. There are a lot of them. And I was having quite a hard time picking up the ones I want to do right before the session. But I picked up the five that resonated with me the most, and I'm going to introduce you to them. If something strikes your fancy, pick it up, read it. I'm sure it will add a lot of value to you. It has added a lot of value in my life. But even if you don't pick these up, what I hope is that you pick up the habit of reading, and you pick up the habit of living multiple lives in one, expanding your perspectives, expanding your thoughts, because the more you do that, the more you can understand people, the more you can understand yourself, the more you can understand the world. And the deeper that understanding goes, the more you succeed and the more you achieve. This really is the biggest growth hack today, because in a world where people are outsourcing their thinking to AI, your very act of reading will become the core of your transformation. Your act of thinking for yourself will be the act that leads you to become the best version of yourself. So I hope this inspires you to do that just a bit. So, one of the very first books that I have here is this beautiful, thick red volume by Napoleon Hill called The Law of Success. Now, it's pretty thick, it's 900 pages. There's a lot of insights here. And I think I've read this one about two times till now. The most beautiful thing about this book is it doesn't simplify the process. It talks about the first principles of what it takes to build success. It talks about the first principles of the ideas that lead to the success that you want in not just your career, but every aspect of your life. And yes, it can get sometimes a bit too complicated to understand because the language is archaic, it's more than a century old. But I can tell you this, if you pick it up and you make it a habit of reading just a few pages every day, and you take about 6 months or a year to just go through this, by the end of it, you will definitely not be the same person. I was not. And me having read it twice is a reminder of that. I think I'm going to revisit it again because it does deserve a reread. And there's always a new idea that you can unlock, which, by the way, is the case with a lot of books. So that's the power this one holds. I mean, what it will do for you is it will give you a whole new lens, a whole new system, and a whole new perspective of looking at the world of success, of growth, of achievement, and that allows you to truly unlock those. Like there are laws of physics, these laws of success actually work, they create the results that you want in your life. So go ahead and experiment a bit with them. And the next book that I have here that I want to really share with all of you, I don't know if a lot of you would have heard of this, but it's a beautiful book called In Search of Excellence. This is written by Tom Peters and Robert Waterman Jr. And you won't find this on bestseller lists. You won't find this recommended on Instagram in the top 5 most worthy books to read. But I will tell you this. If you can pick up this book, nothing, and I mean nothing, can stop you from becoming one of the best business people on this planet. Because the principle of this book is simple. These are lessons from America's best run companies. The entire book talks not about which business strategy is going to make you $10 million a year. No. What they're talking about is the most successful companies in America, and the research was done in the 1980s. So the first principles still apply. But what they did was they went into those companies not to analyze the business models, not to analyze how much profit they're making, not to analyze what's the product or service they're selling, but to see how they worked and to see how they managed people and to see the virtues that they were leading by, to see the values and the ethos that were holding the company together, and how the culture was the reason success was happening. And it might seem like you just need this book if you want to build a business, but actually, excellence is something we all want to pursue, right? We all want to become excellent in every aspect of our lives, and the same principles, the same virtues apply to excellence in the personal world as well. So, when you give it a read, I'm definitely sure you're going to love it, you're going to enjoy it. And if you love tales of transformation, and if you love stories that help you see the power and the potential that we hold, oh my God, this is going to be something that you absolutely devour, and I highly recommend it. So do check this one out. And then I want to share with you another book, which is something you may not have expected, but is one that has left a profound impact on me. And that's why I want to share this with you. It's quite personal, and it's not a personal development book per se. It's not about how do you optimize your life. No, it's just a fiction story by John Green called The Fault in Our Stars. And it's a tale about two teenagers with cancer who fall for each other in love, and how they evolve, and how they learn to be with each other despite knowing that the time is limited and time is scarce, and how they make the most of it. Is a beautiful, beautiful reminder for all of us that we are bothered about so many unnecessary things in life. I mean, if death comes to you tomorrow, what are you really going to do? What happens to all these people and goals and other stuff that you're worried about? Nothing. And in that moment, what's going to matter is not how much you obsessed over something you couldn't achieve, but how well you lived, how well you loved. And when you read this book, it's a powerful story. I loved it. It made me cry so much the first time I read it. I cannot tell you, but that's a sign that the story has worked on you and it has left an impact, because it shifted something deep within me and it made me realize I don't want to live my life chasing an endless illusion that doesn't lead anywhere. I want to live my life with a goal, with dreams, with purpose, of course, but with one that fulfills me now, where every day feels like a meaningful and clear and incredible existence. That's what this book has taught me. Quite unconventional for someone who's obsessed with nonfiction, but again, I'll tell you, sometimes stories can carry the deepest lessons because they reflect a part of us we haven't dared to yet uncover. So do give it a read, and I'm sure if you like it, you'll absolutely gonna enjoy reading it as well, because I liked it. And if you're watching my channel, I'm think we have something alike. And so that's why I think you're gonna like it as well. Which brings me to the next book. And before I tell you the book, I think you must have noticed something here. Every time I come here on lives, or every time I come here on video, I emphasize so much on the importance of thinking. I know AI is a beautiful tool, but I'm very, very, very firmly against the idea of letting AI overtake your thinking skills, because it's those very skills that allow you to create the success you want. The place that inspired me to get those ideas was this incredible book by Daniel Kahneman called Thinking Fast and Slow, where he explained us this beautiful concept from neuroscience and research perspective that you essentially have two brains. One is a responsive one, the other one is a reactive one that thinks fast, the other one is the one that thinks slow. System 1 and system 2. The problem is we are all learning to become way too dependent on system 1, which is the reactive system, and that system does a lot of flaws. It makes a lot of mistakes. There's a lot of problems that come up when that system is the one that's in operation, because it isn't accurate, it isn't real, it isn't factual. So, if we can build the skill of activating our system too and thinking through things with power, with focus, with clarity, this is the book that helps you get there. There's a lot of scientific research involved, but it's so intriguing and it's so amazing. You'll have a blast reading this one. It does take some time to get through it because the language is a bit dense. But again, that's the power of a book, right? You spend what, 450 pages or something like that, 10, 20 hours of your life reading this. And if you really read it, not just skim through it, you'll be a changed person. That's why books are my favorite. Lowest time investment, incredible, incredible results. Which brings me to the next one. And this is again a beautiful, beautiful story by my mentor, Priya Kumar. And absolutely love this book of hers called The Calling, Unleash Your True Self. This is a genre of books that she has mastered writing. And in this, the beautiful part is it's a story, it's fiction, but it's inspirational fiction. It leads you towards a soul lesson. It leads you towards a realization you didn't know you needed, but you definitely did. And when I first read this book, I was about what, 12 years old, I guess. I'm so lucky I did, because at that time my idea in my mind was clear. Oh, I want to do a job, I want to go do an MBA, then I'm going to go into Cornell or Harvard, and from there I'm going to get into the C-suite executives positions and eventually become the CEO of a big company, and done, my life is set. This book helped me realize chasing those external measures is never going to give you fulfillment. Unleashing your true self and finding your calling is what will do that. And when you take that lesson in, when you read this book and you allow that lesson through Arjun's story, the main character, through his story, you allow it to sink into you, you'll realize, oh my God, I was spending my time living a life I didn't want. And now that I have the freedom and awareness, I'll be able to do what I want to do. That realization, it's priceless. It's the reason I'm here doing this work today. If this book hadn't been there, I probably wouldn't be doing this. So a lot of this credit goes to this book. It's superb, it's powerful, it's incredible. Through all of these, if I had to suggest and if I had to be biased, I would tell you, read this one first. It's incredible, it's amazing. I have no words to describe how impactful it truly is. Which brings me to the last book for the day. I know I've given you a lot. I know I've talked about a lot of them, but again, I like to over deliver. So there's a sixth book, and it's the heaviest one, but also the most impactful one. My absolute all time favorites. And this is called Poor Charlie's Almanac: The Wit and Wisdom of Charles T. Munger. Charlie Munger was Warren Buffett's business partner in Berkshire Hathaway, and he was someone who was known to think differently. He was someone whose ideas about the world, about people, about how systems work and how businesses work was so profound, and about how our psychology works was so incredible, that this book completely reframed the way I approach negotiations, the way I approach selling, the way I approach building a life worth living. So if you fancy something like this, and if you think that I don't just want to live, but I want to create an existence that matters on a deeper level, not just a surface level, you are going to love, love, love this book. It's takes a long time to go through it. It took it for me as well. It's a beautifully illustrated one as well. I absolutely love hardcovers that are amazing. Like you see here, I've just opened one random page. But your ideas about economics, your ideas about growth, your ideas about success, your ideas about what does it mean to have a life worth living for, all of that's completely going to rewire and become aligned if you do this. Now, if you think about it, I'm just stacking all of this up again. Out of all the books that were there on the bookshelf, I picked these up. This was like a kind of unique collection I thought would make sense. So here we go. All this knowledge, all this wisdom, all this success can be yours if you're just willing to spend the time a bit less on your phone, a bit less on Netflix. I'm not against it, by the way. If you want, definitely go and watch it, but also invest in your growth, also invest in who you want to be, because the decisions you make today are the ones that create the future of you. And if you read about all these visionaries, if you read about the lessons from the best run companies in America, if you know the laws of success, if you know how the smartest people in the world think and make decisions, that already puts you 90% ahead of the competition you're fighting with. So that's why reading is literally the ultimate growth hack in today's age. The more people go towards AI and shortcuts, the stronger your foundation is going to get, the more you read and the more you succeed. That's my way of learning. If I had to, by the way, if I was just reading for the sake of it, going through books, finishing them, but not learning, it wouldn't make a difference. So I don't speed read. I don't read very fast. I read at my own pace. I read with intent to learn, to understand not just the text, but the concept and the principles behind it. When you master that art of decoding the principles, then learning becomes a super fun journey for you. So just keep that in mind and make a promise to yourself today. What is a new book that I'm going to pick before tomorrow? What are the 10 minutes that I'm going to spend reading on? Not an article, but actually a book where there is space for me to go in depth and learn a lot more. And if you can gain that clarity, you will be amazed at the magic you create. Thank you so much for being here today. Happy reading, happy learning, and happy creating an edge for yourself that no one else in the world has access to, just because you are willing to do the work 90% are not willing to. Read as much as you can, not just for pleasure, but for growth, and your life will never be the same again. I can say that with confidence because my life was never the same again. Every single book has changed and transformed me. So have fun on this journey. Keep reading, keep growing, and I'll see you once again tomorrow at the same time. That is 8:30 p.m. IST. Bye. See you soon.